Finally, we're honoring Doug Dobmeyer. For more than 15 years in the 70s and 80s, Doug served in leadership roles at the Voice of the People in Uptown. When Voice took a chance on being receiver manager of a problem-plagued SRO hotel, the Moreland, Doug spearheaded an effort to form a new organization that could take on the challenges of SRO housing on Chicago's North Side. That organization was the Lakefront SRO Corporation, who under Doug's initial leadership came to national prominence as a pioneer in supportive housing, where social workers and property management staff worked together to assure housing stability and enhance residents' quality of life. This approach became a national standard. Not one to rest on his laurels, Doug was front and center in a campaign to get downtown's presidential towers to enable affordable housing, as it was required to do. The 1986 victory resulted in the formation of the Chicago Low-Income Housing Trust Fund, where Doug served on the board for 26 years. Doug has been a constant resource with media consulting and with his broadly circulated newsletters on matters of human rights and legislation. Doug played prominent roles in many organizations as leader or executive staff, including the Public Welfare Coalition, the Rest Shelters in Uptown, Chicago Coalition for the Homeless, Illinois Common Cause, and more. Doug, we would like to think that your work with Voice kick-started your amazing career of social impact and community improvement. Thank you for a lifetime that deserves all the gratitude, praise, and recognition we can provide.
Thank you for that introduction, Sylvia. Beginning in the late 1970s, I became very interested in low-income housing issues. I had grown up in a town of 800 people in northeastern Indiana. There was at least one person in that town who was homeless. Others lived in shacks. One kid I went to school with lived in a very rundown house because they had bales of straw around the base of the house to reduce the cold inside. I asked about them locally and heard back, well, these people drank or they were uneducated. Nevertheless, the reasons their housing was poor and they had their families suffered from it. I moved to Chicago 1971. I spent 2 years in Vista working for legal aid and in northern Cook County. That showed me the complexity of the housing dilemma from the legal standpoint. After that, I moved to Uptown, began a 15-year time working on the issues of housing in this battleground of the city for low-income people. While intriguing, it was tough. First working at Uptown Center Hall House, then Tom Clark asked me to be on the board of Voice of the People. That started a 10-year love affair with wonderful people living in the buildings, staff, funders, and so many other supporters. It was an experience that makes this country great. Maybe some drank too much or had poor education, but all deserved or had a right to have decent housing in their life. For that opportunity and this award, I want to thank the Voice of the People for the opportunity to bring Voice further along in the fight for equity and housing for those in need. I am better for it. Voice is better for it. And I'll continue the good work into the future.
Doug, thanks again for your work. We have a special surprise for you before you go.
Doug was incredibly persistent and visionary when it came to advocating for the homeless. And really his initiative resulted in what is now Mercy Housing Lakefront. So congrats, Doug, for your recognition.
I was at Voice when Doug became a board member. and subsequently the board chair. And he brought such energy and commitment to the Voice mission, and he would just dig in, drill down, and help us out.
I knew Doug Dobmeyer as an activist who was always in the room. He was committed to what he believed in.
As your brother, I've had a ringside seat to observe you from the time our parents brought you home from the hospital and over the past 7 decades. I remember your years at Indiana University when you became active in campus protests. When you moved to Chicago in 1971, I was amazed at the long days and nights you put in at the rest shelter, your enthusiasm and dedication as you and others were getting Lakefront SRO off the ground. Your continuing action and hard work through Voice of the People has made a difference in affordable housing in Uptown and Chicago.
Doug's real motivation, I think, is his need to see all treated fairly and with respect. It's a matter of social justice. He wanted something permanent, though, for his shelter guests. So with support of the Voice, he and others in Uptown started Lakefront SRO, permanent supportive housing for the homeless. Since 1989, Lakefront has housed thousands of homeless individuals.
My dad has dedicated his life to anti-poverty work. All of it, I think, has been in an effort to eradicate poverty and also to improve people's lives. I remember going to protests when I was probably about 5. I just want to say thank you. Your work has made a huge difference. Congratulations, Dad, and thank you for all of your hard work.
I'm really proud to be married to somebody who spent his life improving the lives of thousands of marginalized Chicagoans.
I'm proud of you, brother. Keep up the good work.
That's really nice. That's nice. That's very cool. Thank you all.
What an incredible 3 we just honored. Give it up for Larry, Itai, and Doug.